So when it comes to this, the pigeons are tricking you. Likely meaning either the Christians are tricking you or God is tricking you, or innocence or purity, the Holy Spirit is tricking you. The Christians are tricking you. Let's see. No shit. So I figured that one out a long time ago. Well, a good amount of them are being tricked, but I mean, the cross symbol, and I already went over this, I think in a previous video, Jose. The cross symbol used to be a phallic symbol, well before Christianity. Let's see if I can pull something up. Nah, I won't. Just go look it up for those of you who don't know. Symbol of the cross used to be a phallic symbol before Christianity was ever uttered. Before it was ever a thing. It was also a symbol of Shiva, a Hindu deity, who I suspect represents sort of the devil figure in his particular pantheon. So this is, for those of you who don't know, this is a post that I did in my this is a post that I published in my blog on WordPress called Celebrity Reigns List, and it's called "You Know Where You Can Shove Your Pigeon Love," occult symbolism in Ze Frank's pigeon video. And I'm getting into some things here where he's suggesting with the title of his video that because pigeons and doves represent purity and innocence and Christianity and the Holy Spirit, I think that Zay is trying to say something there. Here's the thing, Zay. You clearly worship the Abrasics, and the Abrasics is no different. It's a phallic symbol. I already got into that. I think I get into it down here, actually. Yeah, there we go. It's a phallic symbol. It's symbolic of creation and destruction. Flip sides of the same coin. Male essence. Phallus. Gay. And as I explained in a previous video, the opposite of that, the female essence, the woman essence, would be nurturing. The stronger energy. Yeah. How are you any different than the Christians? The way I'm coming at it, the way I'm looking at it, is you're just another head of the Hydra monster, dude. So, just because the Christians are tricking me doesn't mean you aren't. So, your little deflection is cute. And again, I've seen nothing to suggest that I'm wrong about you. The way you're handling all of this is very tricky. Why shouldn't I think that you're a tricky little bitch, huh? Come on, Zay. It's like the devil and God going like, he's tricking you. No, he's tricking you. No, he's tricking you. I think you can both get fucked. How about that? So again, and when it comes to God, the word God, I think it can mean one of two things. It can be either God the Father, who is trying to replace his mother, or God gut being how you're connected to your mother. So it might have been, it started off as a reference to the mother, the great mother, and then was commandeered, stolen by her son, the father, and the son, flip sides of the same coin, creation and destruction. But is that the same as life? I don't know. Which one is life more aligned with? The mothering aspect, the nurture, or the phallic aspect? Create, destroy, create, destroy. So here's Another one I'm working on. I showed you guys some of this, but I start getting into here one of the biggest differences that I've noticed between human beings and every other species on the planet. I'll let you read it for yourselves. Females are typically 2 to 3 times the size of their male counterparts in, I think, most other species on the planet. And the reason for that is because the females can't trust the males to contribute anything towards the well-being of the offspring, or the female who's taking care of them. She's got to do everything for herself, so she has to be big and strong and tough. And quite often she will kill the male after copulation or absorb him in some way, take his autonomy in order to better survive and better provide for the children. So I give some examples. Praying mantis. You can see the male praying mantis is a fraction of the size of the female. And the anglerfish. So that little bitty guy attached to the side of the bigger fish, that's the male. The big one is the female. So the other example we have is where females are smaller than males. And what I've noticed about that is it typically only happens when the females are communal and social and able to work together and band together to overcome a male threat and to keep each other alive and the offspring alive, and or if the males contribute significantly to the well-being of the offspring and the females who are caring for them. So we have some examples of that. I'd give at least 2 examples of that: honeybees and lions. So with honeybees, you can see the males are bigger than the females, but the females do all the work in the hive. The males aren't capable of doing anything except breeding and eating. So when times get tough, their sisters will band together and drive them out of the hive, and they'll essentially just starve to death because they can't do anything for themselves. So again, they're bigger, but they're not in charge because they don't contribute. They don't want to work. So, and then we have this example here. I'll leave it on the screen there for a second or two so you guys can read that part. Lion versus lioness. Oh, look at this. He pissed her off. And now he's fucked. Yeah, so the males are bigger than the females, but the females form very close social bonds, and they sort of will vote him off the island. If they become displeased with him, they will band together and they will either kill him or chase him off if he's not pulling his weight. So right here, here's the point I wanted to get to, even though this blog post isn't finished yet. So there's more down here. I start getting into heroes rescuing damsels from monsters. But the point I wanted to make with this video, and I will probably remake it, it is or should be the privilege of all human women to be empathetic, compassionate, kind, just, generous, nurturing, forgiving, righteous, delicate, and vulnerable. But we are unable to be all of these things if we must also do the job of our male counterparts. Gentlemen, I say this with love. If you value any of these characteristics in your women, if you prefer us to be demure and sweet, then you need to get off your ass and go get a job. And a real job, Zay, not just sitting around being a professional clown. Why don't you go build a house? Or plant a crop and harvest it? Why don't you do something real? Why don't you go be a plumber? Okay? Plumbers and trash collectors, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, are the biggest heroes of our society because they really pull some of the most weight when it comes to keeping our society clean, healthy, safe, sanitary, structured properly. And I'd like to think for the most part, they they go out, they do that hard work, and they come home and they pay the bills and they provide for a family. And I'd like to think they're also not out there manipulating the masses to their own selfish ends, like, the Zay Frank and Richard Hart and Tony Robbins and Chris Thompson of Vampire Weekend, and all you little assholes. Okay? Go get a real job. Women can't be women. We can't. This all suggests that, again, you worship the male essence. You're a little pussy boy. You don't want to do real work. You want to trick a bunch of people into thinking you're a god idol so that they will give you their hard-earned money and you can sit around on your ass raping children. And you don't really appreciate femininity. You hate it. You're gay. You're attracted to men and penises. Why don't you just come out of the closet already, Zay? Richard, Tony, all of you. You don't want to do the hard work of maintaining femininity in our society, which requires that you actually work. Because when you are setting up this power pyramid structure so that you can be at the top and maintain a position of power and luxury, you're making it so that most of the women in society can't be women. We have to be harpy bitches. So you clearly don't appreciate femininity, or you would be helping it to flourish everywhere. You're gay. The Christians are tricking me. Are you a Christian? Do you mean the Christians like how Michael Paul Maxwell is a Christian, Zay? You don't worship the Great Mother. You worship the phallus like they do. You don't worship femininity. You're trying to destroy these things in females. Compassion, empathy. Because it's kind of hard to be empathetic and compassionate and nurturing and forgiving and delicate and vulnerable when you have to go out and do his job and your job. When you have to grow the babies in your body, birth the babies from your body, feed the babies from your body, rear the babies, and go do the 9-to-5 job and pay the bills, and to do the dishes and the laundry and blah, 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 so on and so forth. There is no room in that for being a sweetheart. You're just going to be tired and mean and bitter. You don't love women. You don't like women. You don't like girls. You don't like femininity. You are trying to kill it because you are lazy, spoiled mama's boy. Good night.